as you're doing the ACE study exam each week, or the ACE study exams on Udemy each week, you try to knock out some of those quick labs, and just, you've got them all explicitly written there, just cross them out. So we have like 7 people in the quiz. We can run up to 50. We got 69 people in chat. If you want to, go ahead and join there, and then we'll start that, and we'll take about 15 minutes to run it. It'll probably take about 5 minutes to run each people through it. So like the first 50 that get in, we'll run it the first time, and we'll restart it for the next 50. And then after that, you know, we can just get back to talking while you're doing labs, but I'm going to go off mic and actually do labs. If you have any problems with the labs, there's quick lab support. If you can't get help with quick lab support, you can go to either of these 2 channels. You can go to the GDG Nuremberg. That's probably the best one. I do the RTP GCP, and I'll monitor that in the general channel. Like I said, we'll let you guys continue talking. We'll wait another few minutes so we get more people in the quiz, and let me know when you're ready to start.
Let me put the link here so I don't have to try to copy this into browser.
So the link from the, type it in.
So this is not recorded channel.
No, but Linda, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and I started recording a few minutes ago.
We started recording in another way. It's through screen capture. We will try to, if there is something useful what we can reuse, we will publish it. So if you're concerned about your nice face being in the shot, you can turn off your camera if you want. But you shouldn't. Everyone is beautiful. I see everyone here.
Well, there may be people from the other clouds who don't want to show their faces. So.
Yeah, could be. Who knows?
Political different religions.
Yeah. The current religion is hybrid multi-cloud, so they not appear to be.
Not multi-cloud is hybrid cloud, but we can disagree about it later. Hybrid cloud, yes, on cloud, but you cannot date 2, date 1, and then divorce them.
Let the people do their stuff. Let not them. We'll start after the class. Yeah. Somebody reminding me to provide link to the Kubernetes course. I will right now. Just an.
Yeah, so we are starting then.
What is it?
I thought we usually get there so that everybody says something here.
Yeah. That's true.
All right, so we've got 27 people in the quiz. I figure other people are not interested. We're going to start that and go ahead and get that rolling.
Maybe you can highlight somehow the link to the quiz, because maybe people got confused a little bit,
Again, so.
Okay, you posted it.
Okay, I'll post it again. There it is. We got another minute at 10:43. I'll mute. All right, so we've got, it's 10:44, we've got 45. We'll go ahead and hit start game. Good luck, and see how it goes.
But we cannot see your screen, your quiz. Can you share it, please?
You have to go to the URL, which is in the chat.
We see only the agenda. You don't show
that's
the
okay. I guess this is okay. Everyone have to go on its own pace in the quiz. And at the end, once everyone is finished, I think John will go through the results, right, John?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great.
Okay, I didn't know. Things changed.
No worries, Linda. So everyone grab this link to the quiz. This is a very similar to the exams quiz, and check your knowledge. We will be quiet for this time, for the next 5 minutes.
Other this time, because I didn't manage to answer the first one because I was distracted by the talking.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, the time. Okay, no, sorry. Okay, thanks.
I think the second question is wrong, isn't it? Like solution for compute infrastructure as service. Okay.
We can talk about it when it's...
No, that's fine. That's right. Yeah.
The last question was stupid. Yeah, this one. It's a wrong question. Something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can look at it again. I was doing this last night, so maybe there might be a mistake, but we'll look at them when we go through in the summer. I noticed that one looked like it had 2 answers. That's wrong. That should have been activities list. It should just be a single answer there.
Yes, John. That's what I observed.
on my screen, it's showing 2 green, like it's got 2 correct answers. That's wrong. It should have just 1.
Yes, right.
This tool is kind of clumsy, so I'm not sure what happened there.
This one also will give the same problem. If it is showing check box when you select, that means the same challenge will come.
Yeah, this one should also just have 1 answer.
Yeah.
But this was a question from the previous, so when I moved it over, maybe it screwed up. We'll look at it. All of these should just have 1 answer, so I'm not sure what happened to it. I guess I could share this, show you what I'm looking at. So this one, this was one that people failed on last time. When I went and looked at it, it had errors in it. So hopefully this one makes more sense. All right. So I'm going to, we're sharing this one. Let's go back and look at them. No need to redo it. Let's try to edit this quiz. We'll talk about what the answers are here. You can see where it has questions. Can you hear me? Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, very good. Okay.
We can hear you.
All right. All right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So choose the answer for the ordering of resources. So from most to least. So this has got one answer, and this is correct. It's on-premise, infrastructure, platform, and then software as a service. I don't have the screenshot where there's a picture of it, but basically the on-premise is you're doing everything, right? You're supplying the hardware, you're supplying the OS, you're supplying the application, you're supplying the software or the framework, and you're supplying the code for that framework, right? So that's on-premise. Infrastructure as a service is you're using someone else to get your hardware and OS and everything else you provide. Platform is you're supplying like the application and the version, but the OS and the hardware and everything beneath it is supplied from the vendor. Software as a service is even less work that you do. It's a true microservice. You're just writing some code. So if you kind of want to understand that, just kind of think of on-premise as first, and then and it becomes more gets done by your vendor as you move left to right. And so people had problems with that last time, so we brought that back in again. And then basically what I'm trying to do with this question here is I'm trying to give you an example as you move through these different types, right? So this answer looks correct as well. It's compute engine is the answer for infrastructure as a service. With compute engine, once again, you're in this column, and it's a very flexible system that you have with compute engine, because your compute engine could run a variable OS, it could run a variable application, and it could run variable versions of that application or framework. Right? This next question is, what's the compute solution for platform as a service? And remember, once again, it's the same thing. We're moving over a column, and that's where more stuff is being implemented by the vendor. And in this case, App Engine is a little less flexible than Compute Engine, but you still have some capabilities. You can have multiple versions, and you can do A/B testing. You can route traffic to the different versions. So this answer, that's correct. There's one answer there. Compute solution for software as a service is Cloud Function. Remember, Cloud Function is you just write a code, and you don't have different versions. You have a single entry point. That single entry point is called based upon some trigger. And that's actually how you define it, right? Entry point and trigger. Your entry point can be implemented with multiple functions, but there's only one function that gets called based upon that trigger. So that's an example of the last. This again is another question from last week that people had problems with. This looks correct. It looks like everybody got it this time. Mostly correct. It's just IAM and admin, and then the submenu is roles. This is wrong. It has two answers. It should just have one answer. It should be on dashboard, click the activities list. What are the NoSQL databases? This looks correct. That's the correct answer. This one is wrong because it's got Cloud Spanner. That's a SQL. BigQuery is SQL-like, and it's more of, they consider it a data analysis tool. SQL is definitely not a NoSQL. Also, this was kind of tricky to me because in the console in the left menu, there is a high-level data store item and a high-level Firestore item. They both have native mode and data store mode, but data store has 4 submenus. To be honest with you, I'm not real sure about why that is. And if you look in the product list up on the Google site for NoSQL, they mentioned these 3. Looks like some of my text got cut off. Maybe we're out of text there. So I'll look at that later. What is the gcal command to list roles granted to a resource? I believe it's the first one. Let me try that. Let me pull up the console just to make sure. Anybody know? Off the top of their head? Anybody? That is the correct answer. Anybody? No? Yes, no, maybe?
No idea.
All right, well, let me share a tab and we'll find out how to verify. Just give me a second. The best way, if you were in Dan Sullivan's talk, Dan Sullivan was talking about how he likes the console, and I think that it's really about the test is what can you do on this. So the command I was thinking is gcloud. You hit tab, it shows you all of the different next options. It was, what is the gcloud command to list IAM roles? Well, you see IAM there, right? And we already talked about that in that previous question. It's gcloud group action resource, right? So there is gcloud, the group is IAM. What do we have with IAM? We have the ability to say list grantable roles. So, and then let's see what comes up next. So I'm not going to do tab. Let's do help. All right, let's do this. Let's do, so he's asking for, let's do that, -- help. So it's resource. So actually it should be like so. You don't specify a resource in that case. So this thing had both of these. It was like this. That's a mistake. It should have been like that. Which is a valid command for getting the current project setting. Oh, this one's also got 2 selections. I can look at this for a second. gcloud config. I believe it is. I believe it's this. Let's try that and we'll see. Oh, it's project then. Yep. So share this.
Enter the project ID.
Yeah. So like I said, I had get value project ID. This is wrong, right? Because it was like this. This was a mistake. It should be this. And if you see over here, that command works. That command does not. You'll do that like a million times in Quick Labs. It's a shame that I don't know that off the top of my head, but that's why we just practice. using command line, how to specify the project ID. I do believe that's correct. It should be like set project. Just to give you an example.
Correct. That is the correct one.
Big set project. I just want to set the one that I'm in right now. Once again, your project this is your project right here. So I'm already in that. Let's see if I can specify none. I can't specify none. I'm not going to hit new can't. Let's do like so. All right. So now when you get the value project, it should be set back to that one. Right? So I'll share this. In VPC networking, which of these is true? This is one that I came up with myself. I don't know if this is good. You guys can tell me if it's not, but I was trying to say like VPCs are defined by region, right? They're not multi-region. So that's correct. And then you can define a VPN or an interconnect, I believe, to go between regions. And then you can define a VPC without a subnet, but you have to have a subnet for it to actually have anything. And I'll give you an example there. So if you go down to VPC.
Yeah, we can do VPC peering also.
Sir?
We can do VPC peering across the VPCs to connect two VPCs.
Yeah, I do believe. Yeah. So like you can give it some name like a VPC, some test. You have to specify a subnet. So some subnet. And it has to be in a region, right? And then you're going to give it an IP address. And the regions are all like regions, not zones. And then you can tell it like you want it to have regional, but there is no like multi-regional. And I think if you put global, then you have to have a VPN or an interconnect, right? Where is interconnect? Is interconnect over here? No, it doesn't have it. But I think that's on the higher level underneath VPCs. And so the only thing I was trying to say down here is, when you're doing compute resources, it'll talk about region and zones. So I'm just trying to say like, hey, as a mnemonic, remember region and subnet, similar to subnets is similar to a zone, and regions are the higher level, zone is the sub level, kind of the ABC order, etc. What microservice? Sorry, anything weird. What microservice is for storing unstructured data? That's correct. Cloud storage. I don't think there's any. These are for structured data. That's a component of structured data. What provides managed analytics and data warehousing? That is BigQuery, and that's kind of how they advertise. I think the cost is prohibitive just to use it as is, as like an SQL database. Which connectivity solution provides high bandwidth connections? And that was a question that was asked last time, and that came from the Udemy class. So I just really kind of ripped that off. This had a typo, but I think this is pretty accurate. You're either going to have a group or a command, but the commands are pretty few. The ones that are only of interest are like info, version, and knit. Group is kind of like a top level component. So AI platform, big table, etc. And after the first group, you can repeat these nouns. Like it might be like, as an example, AI, like G-Cloud AI platforms models. So you've got a group, and then within that group, you've got another group, which is still a noun, and then you've got like a verb, which is an action. And then sometimes you'll have a resource. Sometimes they specify the resource like so, where it's like -- registry or -- region. I know these are beta commands, but it's just ones that I used lately, so I was a little familiar with them. And then you can have your group or component, but not in both. And so it's the same way. You got your two nouns and your verb. It's not verb and then noun. It's not verb and then noun. That's it. So, hope that's helpful.
Yeah, it's helpful. Yeah.
Thanks, John, for the walkthrough. Okay, so right now, as I promised, I will share this Udemy course for the Kubernetes 101. If you are an active member of our community, GGG Cloud Nuremberg, you probably already have it. But for everyone else, you have it in the chat right now. You are going to confront Kubernetes on your journey to Google Cloud, and I mean in a modern cloud-native world. So you can make good use of it. And really sorry for the inconvenience. We will try next time to make it more straight, the entry to the call and everything. Maria is writing that it's only like half an hour left for this campaign of this Kubernetes course. That is amazing. It's a great timing. Thank you, Maria, for the remark. John, Linda, or everyone, how are we going to proceed? Are you everyone on your path to learn and progress for this exam? Do you have any difficulties? Do you want to discuss anything specific?
Karen, I have one question.
Yeah.
So I'm right now it is not in my priority list. So can I avail or register it right now and appear within a certain time? Is it possible in this exam? Or we have to do it now?
Yeah. What was exactly the question? Sorry, I didn't get it quite.
Yeah. So right now I'm not focusing on this preparation. Can I avail 30% discount? Can I just buy it, register, and give exam later? Is that possible?
Yes. So we have a document where this.
Okay, I will refer that. Okay.
Yeah. In this document, you got the link where you can go there.
Yes.
Can anyone share the document also in the chat, maybe?
You want this one here? This chat, this document?
Yeah, I think that it is this one, John. Let me see.
On that, like, Karen, I did follow instructions and I finished the quick labs that gets you 30%.
Yeah.
But I didn't get anything. It's been a week.
How long have you been waiting already for the?
I finished it last weekend, so it's a week roughly. But it was not a net new account. I already had an account with them. You have to create a new account, and I'm not a file member.
No, you don't have to create a new account.
Oh, I did not get it. Like should
you
I
can connect with me, and I will try to help you, Daniel, if you like.
So 30% on it's only for one exam. It's ACE, Associate Cloud Engineer. It's a beginner one, right, on this path. It's not a professional exam. Yeah. So you get 30% discount for everyone who is new. There is a document, link to the document, which John just shared in the chat. You will find a lot of useful information in this document, but also you will find a link to the campaign, which is going on till the end of this month. You have to go to this landing page. John, do you have it right?
I posted it. I just posted it. Yeah, I followed everything.
Okay.
So good. And it's a beautiful exercise. Even if you don't get 30% discount, that was my first QuickLab request. So it's amazing, but
so it's a QuickLabs campaign together with Google. The voucher, the coupon code will be coming from QuickLabs. And they say they generated every single day once you complete the quest, which is listed there. So if you have been waiting for 2-3 days, working days, and you haven't got anything, contact QuickLabs and explain your situation briefly. They are super quick in responding, and I haven't heard any problem which was not resolved with them. So you will get your stuff, but be sure to make it until the end of this month, because this campaign is going on with a 30% discount on the certification is going this month, and it will end by the end of this month.
If I could, I have a hard stop at 12, so I want to go ahead and get people started on this as well. Karen started this document, which I should be presenting, and you should be able to see.
Yeah.
There's a book, and then there's a course. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go through this course each week, and then from that class is how I'm making these quiz questions. Simultaneously, I'm trying to go through this list of labs. Just a note on how these labs are created. This link here is the official certification guide. From there, they list these quests and these 2 labs. And then, so what I've done is I've broken the labs up kind of in where they are in categories. So like if you had a hard time on, say, networking, I suggest you do these labs. The ones that are in bold are the ones that are noted from the quest in the official guide. However, some of those are like, they're either advanced or, well, I guess if they're an asterisk, they're advanced. So any ones that are in bold literally came from diving into these quests and pulling out the individual labs. But as you can see, like in the networking section, they're ordered either beginner, fundamental, or introductory at the beginning. And then the ones that are advanced are with an asterisk. There's no expert level in that one. But I think if you were to look in, say, here, Kubernetes is on here. Dan Sullivan was saying you're going to get tested on Kubernetes. The first one in that series is the introduction to Docker. That is a recommended one. But like if you go like 3 levels in one of those Kubernetes quests, and it jumps you up to this expert level one, I think you're going to have a hard time on that. I think you should really spend a lot of time on these basic ones and then get up into these where you get these advanced or expert. And anyway, so I'm gonna drop off mic, and I'm going to work on one of these. If you have any questions, you put them in the chat here, or you put them in one of the Slacks, and I'll try to help you if I can.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions from anyone? Please feel free to speak up, to ask.
I just have one question. It's my first time on Sunday with you guys preparing to the exam. Are you going to go through the this quiz every week, again and again, with new questions, or what is the plan?
That's the plan. Yeah.
It will be not the same quiz. The question.
Oh, really? Okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you want to prepare the questions and ace it next time, right?
Yeah. Okay, I see. I found this way really very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll do in the third week is I will look at the second week. Like I guess I can present and just kind of show you what happens. Just 1 second. I was going to go off mine. 1 second. If I go back here, well, there's a quiz running. So let me do this. I think it'll still run. But if I go to archive and I think we ran at this one. Let's see what this one is. So basically what I'll do is I will look at this and I'll say, okay, we didn't get 100% on this one. It's like below 3/4.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do this question again. I'll do this question again. I'll do this question again. Ditto. I think everybody's got that one. This one we'll do again because people struggle. This one had the 2 wrong. We'll do it again as well. And so I'll take whatever of those are there, and then I'll supplement. If it's say 10 questions from here need to be redone, we'll redo those, and we'll get 5 new questions based upon the questions that I've written down as I'm going through the Udemy class for you guys.
It sounds like a good strategy, John, to take the weak questions and repeat them and add some new questions. That is great.
Yeah.
I see here one question. Samir is asking, any good recommended test center in Nuremberg? Yeah. And this is a recommended test center. I have one in mind. It is your home. Nowadays, in this pandemic situation, many test centers are closed or maybe not taking as many people. And all of these companies, I think every cloud company now, turned to the proctored exams from the comfort of your home. So basically, this is also another reason to study for this exam and do them right now. You don't have to go in a strange place with the cold walls, and sit somewhere to pass or to try these exams. You can do it at home. This is amazing. So, yeah, and Google also offered it for this ACE exam, Associate Cloud Engineer. And I think it's also valid for Professional Cloud Architect as well. This is a professional level certification. So you can make these 2 exams from home. Yeah, this is another reason just to use it and study for it.
Let me ask another question, if I'm allowed to.
Yeah, everyone is allowed. Yeah.
Thank you. Question is for John, maybe. Where do you get those questions for the quiz? Do you prepare them yourself, or is it some real questions from real exams?
No, I make the quizzes myself. Have you ever heard of SQ3R? Have you ever heard of this?
No, not really.
Let me type it. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So it's like a learning technique. So the S is for survey, and then the Q is for questions, and then the read, recite, review. So basically, if you're trying to learn something, you get a survey, you kind of look at the document, look at the topic and kind of pick out the headings, kind of see what it is. And then based upon that survey, you do questions. You write down some questions that you think this thing is going to have you learn. Then you read whatever it is that you're trying to do. And then you review it. And then you try to recite it. So I make in my trying to do this ACE exam, I create flashcards, try to like learn how to remember them, and the flashcards I write them as I am actually watching the video. If I were to go get one, I don't have them here. Let me go get them, and I'll show you kind of like what I'm talking about, and then I pull the questions from there.
Okay, while John is getting his stuff, I want to remind you, everyone, that yesterday we had a great conversation with the author of this course, which is listed in our document, as well as the official study courses from Google for these certifications. The person's name is Dan Sullivan. It was an interesting meeting. He explained a lot of the technical things, how to prepare for this kind of examinations. And we have a video version of it. We recorded the whole thing. And I put it together a shorter version without any introduction, any advertisement. I just posted it to the chat. It's a 2 hours, 20 minutes conversation, mainly Dan speaking about the tricks and tips at these exams, primarily about the ACE exam, Associated Cloud Engineer, but also something about a professional architect, cloud architect. So if you are preparing for it, didn't have a chance to visit it yesterday, make sure to watch this video. I think you will draw a lot of interesting information from it. Back to you, John.
All right. So, valid? Is it Vladislav or just Vlad
or Vladislav? It's
Vlad.
Okay. I could understand that you're addressing me.
It's Southern. I laughed when they asked me to speak.
It's okay.
So, as an example, maybe you remember seeing that question,
Okay.
right? And that was literally like one of the answers.
And
that
okay, I see.
You may have
Similar as you would learn foreign language, right?
Yeah, you just gotta,
same principle. Okay.
Yeah. So all I do is I like just pull whatever from this list and I add those.
Thanks, John.
Yep. You're welcome.
And thanks a lot for your efforts to prepare those questions. It's really a very nice strategy, because I did the same in many different certifications I did previously. I just took the quiz and did it several times until it gets automatic. The answers comes to your mind directly after you read the question.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the kind words. I really like Karen and Linda for doing this. I have a weekly study session each week, and I have like 2 or 3 people each week. Now, through these people, we've gotten a wider audience, so I thank them. The last thing I will say is I've been to Cloud Next twice, and I'm kind of dumb, right? And I went to one of them, which was how to prepare for one of the certifications. And they did a quiz kind of like what we did here. And I hadn't been working with Google Cloud but maybe about 6 months. And I was shocked at the level of difficulty of that quiz. And I was like, oh man, I need to step up my game. And so I've been trying to learn GCP, and I have like 300 labs under my belt with Quick Labs, and I still feel like I'm a beginner. So don't think I'm an expert or anything. I'm not a cloud certified engineer or anything. I'm just like you. I'm an absolute.
Okay, I see. I think it's also great that we can this possibility to answer together and see where the majority lies and where we have still need to be better. And then you can repeat, and for the next sessions you can take the wrong answers and put the questions again.
Yeah, one of the things that I look forward for me to do is, if you're going through a quick labs, you kind of memorize kind of what's going on, and you've got a certain level of understanding. But I need to do more in helping other people with their problems, because I think Dan, if you saw yesterday Dan's talk, he said that try to generate errors and then fix them. So if you get an error and I try to help you, I've got to kind of unstick and understand where you've gotten the hole into. And that's like a different way to learn. So I'm looking forward to somebody asking me a question about Quick Labs.
Mhm.
And we can share a screen here. Like if you're in a Quick Lab and you've got a problem, you're free to share your screen and we can work you through it.
Okay.
I guess for anyone.
Yeah, and last time, or since the last 2 weeks, we have had some people who are eager to prepare for professional cloud architect exams. Not so much interested into this basic one, but the professional level. I don't know if we have many people here from this bunch. Okay, great. Daniel, I see you are interested. This is great. I think I would be also interested. So there are many requests. Why wouldn't we just create another, like a parallel group, and we can probably utilize this time, if the time allows, to connect these people and to exchange, keep themselves updated about this professional architect exam. So, John, what do you think? Can we let these people also connect in a second half, maybe like the last half an hour, to let them exchange in this call, in this 2-hour call, about the details of the professional cloud architect?
Yeah, what we could do is we could just keep that same agenda and then just put 15 minutes after the last one that we did there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would also suggest to create a second document. We have already one study group draft document going on for associate cloud engineer. We can create a second one where all the interesting links and information can be summarized.
Yeah, I will let whoever is trying to do the professional do that one. All I'm saying is that, let's show you this, is that, because I'm not trying to do that, and I don't know anything about it
Okay.
on this. I would just say that at, say, it would be pro architect, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if we have any people, do we have any open questions yet? Now to the topics of ACE. It's easier for me to call them with this short abbreviation. ACE stands for Associate Cloud Engineer. Are there any questions to this exam? Any difficulties? Anything to discuss?
Hello. I just had one question. It's regarding the Dan book. Does this book cover the new Cloud Brown and Anto services?
I don't think so.
So I have to learn from Google documentation?
I don't know for sure, but the book is older, and the criticism is the correct.
The message from Dan from yesterday's talk was that you could explain anything what is out of beta phase to be asked at exams. He also stated that these Google exams, doesn't matter which one, are constantly updated and reworked. They add constantly new questions and see if some questions are not good, they would remove them. So it's a work in progress all the time. It's nothing fixed, you know. This is what you have to keep in mind. He said also yesterday, if you will watch this video, you will get all the details. So watch this YouTube video, it's worth it of your 2 hours of time. He said that Antos is a complicated beast. He would not expect it to ask in details when it comes to this basic certification, to the ACE exam. But you have to have an impression, a right impression what it is, how it works. This might be asked, most probably will be asked, but not very detailed, you know, not because it seems to be a complicated technology. Even he is not like 100% sure how it exactly like in all the details how it works. So yeah, this is what I got from the yesterday's conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I think there is a question from Maria about developer certificate, if it is available. If I understood it right, it's in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Actually, I was preparing for it until November. Then I have to talk for other reasons. And now that I look back into the maybe I can start again. Apart from the fact that I forgot half of it. And I don't find it anymore. So I think yes, I'm doing this, but I also want us to compare. When I started creating for the certification, I thought it's like entry level, and architect is more advanced, developer is more whatever you want to develop in the field. And yesterday I read that associate is not entry level at all, it's also very difficult. That architect is actually to know what to do with that, but not many details. Just know which solution to utilize. And developer is even more difficult because not only do you have to know that, but you have to know how to implement it in different settings. Am I right?
Maria, something seemed to be wrong with your audio system. You are not very audible, but I think I could guess what was your question. So we have here the homepage, landing page for Google Cloud certifications. This is the mapping, the roadmap, or how they define it. So the associate level, it's already pretty tough, you know, and but once you pass this one, you have very good impression of their cloud technologies and pretty broad impression. Now, when we go to the professional level certifications, these are also pretty complicated exams, and the strategies there applied to this all professional certifications is slightly different. It's pretty much adapted to real life, you know, to your actual job, what you will be doing, dealing with customers. Like this is the way how you would think. This is at least applied to cloud architects. I expect it would be similar to cloud developer. So it's a different kind of mindset and different approach here. One of the questions we asked then, if you would want to go for the professional level certification, one of these ones, would you require or would he recommend to go at first to the cloud engineer to clear this one and then go to the professional one? He said, it depends, you know, if you want to get a very broad impression of the whole landscape, you can go there, the associate level at first. Here at the associate level, as I already told, everything will be asked. Some complicated technologies will be asked kind of superficially, not very much into the whole difficulty, you know, like Antos, for example. You shouldn't be an Antos super expert to pass this one. So you have to have a good impression. You need to have a good impression of Antos, but that's pretty much it. Here, you have to be You have to be thinking differently. You have to be answering the questions differently. They will be more complicated, but applied to these jobs, to these roles. And he said it's also a viable path to go directly to a professional level, because actually there is no prerequisite to clear level first and then move to these ones. So you can go straight to your developer, cloud developer, for example, and prepare yourself for this exam. It would be also okay. In some cases, it just makes sense. If you are already, for example, if you are an architect moving from AWS to Google Cloud, you have already experience with architecting cloud systems. You have all the concepts in your head in general way, but then you have to apply this knowledge to Google Cloud. You have to adapt your knowledge. It could be a faster path to go here. One thing about a cloud developer, what I want to add, it could be that this exam is still not available from as a proctored exam. You have to double check it. It updates from time to time. So basically this exam associate, everyone can take it from home all over the world. You don't have to go testing center. Cloud architect as well, they allow it, or pretty recently, I think like 1 month ago or 2 months ago, to make it from home, to pass it like from home. I think there is another one from this professional level exams, which is also allowed to be taken from home. But I'm not very sure which one. If anyone knows it, please post it in the chat. But I'm pretty sure, as of now, if I'm not completely wrong, not all of those professional exams are available to be passed or attempted from home as a proctored exam.
And maybe this is the reason why I didn't find it. I was looking at the wrong page, where you could just see exams you can take from home.
I think these are not just only from home. These are generally like exams you can take with Google Cloud.
Karen?
Sorry?
No, I wanted to say something when you are done.
Yes.
Are you
yeah,
done?
I'm done.
Ah, okay. I wanted to share another resource because I saw John has his method. I have another method that I would like to share with everybody if they are interested.
Yeah. Sorry, I will just quickly ask Maria, was it a question or want to anything else? Like, I think if you talk about availability of the exams, like for proctoring attempts from home, we need to double check it. There is some up-to-date information on Google Pages, which exams can be taken from home, like which you can attempt from home.
So I will share.
If you have any other questions, just get in touch with me and we will try to find the truth. And yeah, I'm switching back to Linda.
1 second. I guess I have problems again. I wanted to share my screen. 1 second. It is not working evidently for me today. If not, I will share later in select Windows screen. Ah, okay. I got it. There is some update and I have to allow it. That's it. 1 second. So regarding to the cards, okay, I don't know if you can see my screen. Can everybody see my screen? Which one? 1 second. The one that it says Quizlet, can you see that one?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So I will share with you this screen. As John is doing, you can do here your flashcards, and you can use it to help you learn. For me, it's helping me. So I have the question, and if I click on it, it shows me the answer and so on. So if you like, you can go to copy my cards and you can try, but I don't know if there are mistakes or not. So if you see any mistakes, go and correct it. You know, like when you do things, you make mistakes. When you don't do nothing, you don't make any mistakes. So if you like, I can share this with you. There are plenty of questions, but this is for the ACE exam. So, but maybe that there are other people that they created other questions for other exams. You can go to search. I don't really know, but here you can find pretty good material for that.
Linda, may I ask you something?
Yeah.
You said you once tried to this ACE exam, right?
Yeah.
Could you recall some questions and save it here in your Quizlet, or is it some new questions?
You are not allowed to do that. So when you go to the exam, first you have to read an agreement with Google. So you have that agreement that it asks you what you cannot do. So when you agree with that, so I don't think so you will ever find the questions from the exam, just because if they find out that someone leaked the exam questions and they are even certified, and even if you are not certified, you are not be allowed anymore to take the exam. So,
okay, I see. But
you know
I was not talking about copying, you know.
Yeah.
You could recall in your memory and write it down for yourself in order to prepare. Maybe you cannot share those questions.
No, you cannot share. You cannot share nothing related. So you will see, you have like a contract with Google when you go. I don't know if somebody who took the exam can, sometimes I cannot explain in English very well and so frustrating for me. But they tell you in advance what you cannot do. Even, for example, when I went the first time, I couldn't understand nothing. I says, am I in the right exam or I'm in the wrong exam? Let me check. I wanted only to leave, but the problem is you have this contract with them. If you leave and you don't submit the exam, you are not allowed to take it anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I see. So it's kind of disclosure agreement you sign. Mm-hmm.
If was not that, if they didn't have that disclosure, I wanted just to leave because I could not understand. My English was so limited at the time that you know, you have to learn all this. It's like a new language, let's say, no? But the problem is I got to understand everything in the book, everything in the courses. I did all these quizzes and everything. I got used to that language. They use even more complex, so it was like a shock for me first time. The second time, I was able to understand. So just going again, reading the book again, watching the videos again, practicing the quick labs again, over and over again. So when I went the second time, I was surprised finally, like, oh, I can understand. Not to 100%, but I saw that my brain could understand. The first time, nothing. Trust me, I was there. I said, what is this, Chinese or something? Because Chinese, I don't speak. I speak Italian, Romanian, English, and French. I said, this must be Chinese. I could not understand. Trust me, it was terrible, frustrating. So I guess that practice over and over again, it gets you to, you know, to make connection, because we don't work with the cloud. I work with a few things, but we don't work every day. So you can bring your experience into it, you know. So this is my experience, but please don't get now discouraged just because I failed. I failed successfully. There are so many people out there that they pass it. So
I think it's also a nice. Sorry, Daniel, want to add something?
Yeah. So Vladislav, so we covered that on the meetup when you were not here. So I will repeat my position here. The question sounds like you would like to know the list of the questions, what to study. This is a vast area. You cannot cover everything. So what we have to learn is like how to map, like a cage fight. Like you have to map the real scenario into the knowledge base, how to think about solving the problem. So far, like the resources I found are those by Grumpy Grace. She is a Google developer advocate publishing all flowcharts. Yesterday, Dan was sharing the chart. The chart he shared was flat, horizontal, list of all services. What you need is a mind map almost. I will paste it here in the link. control-X again, we covered that last time. So it's thinking like not knowing all the storage options but knowing what you need, mapping requirements into particular things. And another thing, like as Dan was going through the questions yesterday, I was messaging Santosh, the guy who we had a couple of weeks ago as our guest. The questions he had are from the Google test itself, which I didn't do. I didn't want to fail. But I really like Santosh's approach to solving the questions. So even when you don't know the answer, so go through his awesome GCP playlist. And these questions are not some kind of book, some kind of fictitious questions. They are real Google test questions that he teaches you how to think about them. And originally 2 weeks ago, I thought there are 28 questions, but apparently playlist is 60. So I have like 13 more to go through. That's how time consuming, even if you spend an hour. Just learning how he thinks about questions. It's like cage fight, studying the move of the enemy. You cannot know everything, but learning how to adapt to the unknown situation. That's my approach to life in studying, and I'll try to do that here, and I will not buy them. I love it, but it's too flat. We cannot study everything. We need to go into the cage.
Okay.
Thank you, Daniel. I posted in Slack the link of my cards. There are others you can go to see my profile to see what you are interested. But this is the method that I use. For me, it's easier because I had to handwrite everything. So if it can help you, please go ahead and use it. You never know. But keep in mind, these are not the questions that they use in the exam. These are questions only for you to start to make connections with the language, get used to it, because everything is it. When you go in the exam, if you can really understand the language, it will help you a lot to make connections. For me was this, because many times I'm even confused with the terms, so the second time when I went again and I solidified my knowledge. So I eliminate all the confusions that I had and many things. You'll see slowly as you practice and for me the book helped a lot to just understand the language, because this is not a language that we talk every day at home. So, and I made my notes, I underlined and everything. So I guess this helped me to see a big improvement between the first time and the second time when I failed. Anyways, but I guess if I go again to do all of this, the next time will be even better. So it's a work in progress. Guys, I have a meeting in 8 minutes, so I will have to leave you soon. I will be until the end, until 12 o'clock here, and after I will leave.
Okay, no worries. So I see from your screen you have 360 cards or questions there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
I have others. You can go in my profile. It's like a public profile, and you can go to see. I have even others, not only this, but see what helps you. So, but you can even go in Quizlet. There are other people sharing, so you can go to see if there are. I don't know. But I shared in Slack with everyone, so you can take advantage of it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone from professional cloud architect folks want to speak up or discuss anything?
Well, how many of us? 2? And GK, the guy who posted the link for YouTube, he wants to do ACE as well. And he was just messaging me on LinkedIn. That's why I was looking elsewhere. He's starting to record videos about answering case studies. I did not watch it, but I will share it with you. So the friend that we met here, he shared this with me about PCA. And I can tell you my story. Like, I wanted to do PCA only, and I used a Cloud Guru test, and it felt good. Like it's. So I've been 30 years in the business, like over 20 years in architecture. It felt right. It's like real architectural thinking. You almost didn't need to know a Google. But then like as an architect, you're like a kid playing with Lego pieces or Meccano. I don't know, that was popular when I was a kid. Meccano kit made in Germany. So you're building all these pieces, but you don't know the pieces because I'm new to GCP. So that's why I stepped back to learn what the toolkit, what are the puzzle pieces. So it's similar a comparison Dan used yesterday, like how many, it's a puzzle he used, I use Meccano or Lego. You want to know your what's in the chest before you start answering.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So what's your experience working with you?
You're asking me?
Yeah, it's only 2 of us, I guess.
No, there are 52 people more, but never mind.
You mean, I mean, Daniel means professionals, but you are not certified professional, Karen, right?
No, not
So
yet.
you are alone, Daniel.
No,
Only one.
I'm not either.
Okay.
So
Okay,
what attracted me to Google, besides having to use it at work, was to get it certified, because apparently that certification for PCA is the best industry certification for architects, regardless of the cloud. So it's not GCP specific. It's why it's hard for GCP guys, because it's not about GCP. It's about how you think as an architect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming from the other side as an architect, not the GCP guy.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, I have to agree totally with Daniel here. It's like when you go to the exam, it's not the question itself. So it's like you have a cooking book, no? They give you the recipes that should be, but when you go there, they give you the ingredients and you have to make a product. So you have to remember how what is the most efficient way to create that product. You don't want to do the wrong way, or you don't want to do the long way. There are many ways to do things. So the thing here is to make efficient solutions, at the most efficient price and things like this. So you have to go in the mindset of an architect when you go to the exam, when you become an architect.
Sorry for interruption, Karen. Can you let in one guy? Brijesh is trying to access the call.
Not really, because I don't see anyone knocking. So.
Okay, maybe he using a wrong link. I will send him correct one. Let me. Thanks.
Guys, I will have to leave you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everything. See you.
Yeah, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Yeah. So we will conclude in time in 3 minutes. But if anyone want to stay in the call, maybe discuss anything, feel free to do so. I will be here for at least, I think, for half an hour, something like this. If anything else, is what's you're interested in, like organizational things or any other questions about community building, we can discuss it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. I have to ask a question.
Yeah, sure, I am listening.
Yeah, actually, I just want to know, after the 8th exam, when you have cleared the 8th exam, what is the scope like in the IT industry? So should you just go on with the 8th exam alone, or you should go and try for the DevOps and architect or data engineer? Like, they are all different subjects and different fields. They're like they have to go deep down into each. Like when you want to go into the security, to want to prepare for the data line and length. So what would be the best choice, and how would we know that if we go to a specific path like data engineering courses or the cloud architect line and length, what would be the good option after the 8th exam?
Well, if your aim is to get a job, then clear this certification and you will have a great impression of Google Cloud and cloud technology in general, and then aim for the job. I don't think you need any additional certifications if you're just into cloud computing. There is one thing what our community members consider a lot. After this kind of cloud certifications, some of us will go for Kubernetes certifications. There are two from a, I think the organization is called Linux Foundation. Yeah, I think this is the correct name. And they offer two kinds of Kubernetes certifications. One is a developer, another one is administrator, I think.